Cody sat there alone, still, in complete shock and anger. How could his wife mention divorce? After everything he's done for the family. The late nights in the office working his butt off, showing up to every kid's games on the weekend, taking off hours at work to support her when she needed, and take the kids to trips. I mean, always being ready to make his wife and his family happy. How could she not see any of that or appreciate it? I mean, what does she mean by being emotionally disconnected anyways? Yeah, he had trouble sharing his emotions at times because the times he did share those emotions, his wife got mad and became defensive. And to drop the word gaslighting, I mean, did some therapist tell her that? Why couldn't she be grateful? He said, I even supported her so she can go get her master's. And now she makes more money than me. And to say that I was needy? Yeah, what's wrong with needing my family together? I mean, those words just cycled around in his head. Now, this is a common example of a narrative that a man coming into my marriage mastery program would have. And if it at all matches yours, then I recommend that you watch this entire video, because if you don't uncover the hidden needy messages behind this mindset, I guarantee only pain, loneliness, and anguish for you in your future. Now, most other men's coaches out there would just tell Cody to focus on himself to overcome the neediness. In fact, some men who come into my marriage mastery program, they came from other programs attached with that advice. Now, although that advice is not incorrect, it's only half of the equation. Yes, you should want to work out and develop new hobbies and focus on you, but there are underlying issues that brought up the neediness in the first place. And if you don't address this, it's gonna keep on coming up no matter how good you look in the mirror or what new hobbies you develop. If you don't address this insecurity now, it's gonna come up in the next relationship and the next relationship. And this is why second marriages have a divorce rate of 66% and third marriages are almost 75%. What's awesome is that when you follow today's advice in this video alone, you're gonna have a framework to completely eradicate the needy nice guy, to replace him with an attractive, assertive man that goes toward conflict with confidence every single time. All right, let's go over the top 4 things that a needy guy will say to himself in his mind, or even to his wife, to really justify his actions. Now, the first one is called actually past justification. And what he'll say is, but what about this? This is when a man will use past things he's done positively in the relationship to make his wife feel like she shouldn't have those negative emotions right now in the present moment. Here's an example of how Cody did this. His wife came home one day and she was really upset that he didn't cook the kids dinner and he didn't put them to bed on time. And Cody said to her,
but like, what about all these past vacations and all these things I've done? I've done so much for the kids. Like, I'm sorry I didn't do this one time, but what about all these past things I've done?
This shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how women's brains work. You see, women are more emotional in nature. And when they're upset, they're in the present moment with their emotions. They're not thinking about the past. They're not thinking about the future. They're just saying, because of the situation, I feel this way right now. It's an emotional process. And you can't use logic to change how they feel in the moment. Instead, to overcome your neediness, most men understand that when she's feeling her emotions, it's not so much about you, it's about her own process. And if you respond to her the right way by holding your own value and giving her what she needs in that moment, which is validation and understanding, then actually she could see more logic. And I have a whole video right here that you could check at the end if you want. The second thing a nice guy will often say to himself is, if I do this for her, then she should do that. Now, this is what's known as a covert contract. Now, Donald Glover wrote the book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. And in it, he talks about these covert contracts. They are hidden agreements you make with yourself and your wife without her knowledge. For example, you do the dishes so your partner won't complain when you go watch the football game later. You take her out for Valentine's Day to their best restaurant, give her all these flowers and gifts, expecting sex at the end of the night. You clean the whole entire house and do all these projects just so she will recognize that you've done a really good job and give you verbal appreciation. Or my favorite, you lose all this weight and you get this great body, the best body you've had in years, just so she'll look at you and say, hey, I noticed that. You shouldn't be doing that either, trust me. Now, the source of all these covert contracts stems from this central next point. Now, the third phrase a nice guy, people pleaser will say in his mind is, I just want to make her happy. This is what I call conflict cowardice. Now, should you want to make your wife happy? No, and yes. Let me explain. Now, when Cody came to me with our first onboarding call, he had a question that a lot of guys do have about boundaries. You see, his wife was having an emotional affair with another man, and of course he didn't like that, but he didn't know how to have the conversation to set that boundary without pissing her off and pushing her away. He was looking for the right words to say to her. So I asked him this: what would happen if you said the wrong words? That would make her mad. And is making her mad a bad thing? Yeah, because she would leave me. And where did you learn that if you make someone mad, that they leave you? Probably from my mom and my dad, because every time my dad got mad at my mom, she left the house. So you recognize you're replicating the same pattern with your parents, and she's not your mom. She won't leave you because of that. Yeah, I guess you're right. I told Cody that setting your boundaries with your partner is simultaneously the easiest thing to do and also the hardest thing to do. It's easy because all you do is understand what your needs are and then successfully communicate those needs to your partner and let them meet them or not. The difficulty lies with the people pleaser and the conflict, cowardice, and all these covert contracts, because you are afraid of rejection. You are afraid of upsetting her. And when you go at her indirectly, it only causes frustration in her because you're being feminine. Now, all of this confusion and feminine way of communicating with your wife or girlfriend leads you to the fourth point. The fourth thing that a needy nice guy will say to himself is, it's okay, you can choose. I call this lacking leadership. He'll often say to himself, I'm doing my kids or my wife a favor by letting them pick. I'm giving them free autonomy and they can pick what they want. Let me give an example of one of my clients who had this mindset coming into our first onboarding call in the program.
I think I've just always been like a people pleaser. Like, I think that's one of your videos too, where I'm like, that's me, I'm that guy, where I don't want to cause a stir and a conflict. And so I'll just go along with things or just try to make everybody happy. I mean, even I see it even with my kids, like taking them out to eat. It's like, where do you guys want to go? And I'm in my head, I'm like, I'm the dad. Like, why am I letting my 9-year-old and even my 5-year-old, but I'm doing it to be a nice guy.
Think of it like this. Let's say you came into my program to save your marriage and improve your relationship. And when you came in, you had two options. I could have said, hey man, you're gonna do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way, all the steps. It's just like so guided for you where you don't have to think. And in this other scenario, I'm like, hey man, what do you want to do to save your marriage? What do you think is best for you? I want you to choose. Do you think it's best that you say this or do this? Like, no. The reason why it's such a gift for you to decide and take leadership is because it literally expends calories and energy to make decisions. This is why people like Mark Zuckerberg or myself wear the same shirt every single video, because I don't have to think about it, right? So you are giving your wife or your girlfriend and your kids the biggest gift by giving them a path forward for you to choose. You'll be amazed by just this one action alone. If you take 10% more to leadership, make 10% more decisions in your relationship, how much you will open up and the whole entire relationship will improve. Okay, so at this point, you may be saying to yourself, Josh, all right, cool. I display pretty much all of those behaviors at one point or another. I recognize that I have people-pleasing tendencies and I'm a nice guy. Now, the first thing you're gonna do to change this is actually change the language that you're using. Now, you may have heard of this, but you probably haven't. The language you choose of I am this, it actually self-reinforces because it's an identity you are creating. Now, the first step is changing that identity, which I have a lot of videos and exercises and things you can do. But the second most powerful way to change your identity of this people pleaser, this nice guy, is to surround yourself with other men who will constantly, day by day, call this behavior out on you. Now, iron sharpens iron. You may have heard that before. But when you join a community of other men going through the same exact process with the same exact limiting beliefs and problems they're facing with their partner, their spouse, what you're able to do is you're able to auto-correct those behaviors, because it's like you're just going down this path and every time you would hit a bump going by yourself, the other men in the program keep you on track to go where you need to go to become the confident man that gets your wife back in the marriage that you want. Now, if you want the opportunity to work with me personally to do this with you, set up a call down below. Thank you for watching the video. Smash like if you enjoy videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe too if you are new here. Cheers.